Hello. I'm walking. I'm walking in the park. This time it is just over the main path here at 1 mile. And here, just look around, how beautiful it is here. Just wonderful. Lots of colorful trees everywhere. Oh man, I'm just so lucky to be here. And I've spent the whole afternoon watching a stupid movie. A stupid movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. he was some sort of, it was called The Legionnaire. Don't watch it. It's a stupid movie. But I watched it anyway. Yeah. You probably wonder, like, what is this guy all about? Well, I can talk. I wrote in one of my writings yesterday, I wrote, I can talk about embodied language the whole day. And it's really true. It's really true. That's what I would like to do. I would like to talk about this every day. And I already do, I mean, if I'm not making a recording, I'm still talking with myself, and I've said this many times, but I'll say it again. The reason that I'm talking with myself is because talking with you is of no use. It really isn't. And talking with other people is not as important to me as talking with myself. That's why I talk with myself. And talking with myself is more important because then I can have embodied language. And yes, there is one person, two persons who I can have embodied language with. And I'm having embodied language with them. But for the most part, people just don't want to know about embodied language. And they just want to continue with their disembodied language. And I don't want to have any part of that. I'm just not interested. So I rather talk alone like this with myself, and that's what I do. And you can still hear me, you can still listen to it, and you can still tune into it, and you can still get a sense like, wow, it's interesting that this guy is doing that. Because of course I could be talking like this with you, but you couldn't stand it, you couldn't handle it, you wouldn't accept it, you wouldn't let me continue with it. You wouldn't be able to continue with it yourself unless you let me help you. Because if you talk with me, if you would connect with me, and you would let me speak with you, then you would also have embodied language. Yeah. It's not difficult. It's very nice. And it's very simple. But yeah, you want to make everything so complicated, and you just have so much negativity. And even though I'm being treated so badly by so many people, yeah, I get so much rejection, I get so much negativity from people. I'm never negative. How is that possible? Yeah, occasionally I have an outburst, because I just can't stand all their stupid, disembodied language. And of course it's justified, that I have my moments in which I just feel like, yeah, okay, well, the hell with it. This is my life, and I'm gonna let you know that you want to have a disembodied language, okay, go to somebody else, not with me. Ain't my cup of tea. And yes, unfortunately, this has cost me my job the other day, because I had to let my boss know that no, she was treating me so disrespectfully, and she was just so negative towards me every day. That couldn't continue anymore. That wouldn't have been good for my health, And it's not worth it. And so, I let her know that she's not as friendly as she claims to be. she believes herself to be friendly. No, she's not. Totally not. Anyways, that's now behind me. I'm now I'm getting unemployment temporarily, and then I'll find some other temporary job for a couple of more. Maybe a year or one or two, because I'm still totally capable. I'm strong. I'm healthy. I'm active. So they're gonna miss me there. Because I work really hard. I like to work hard, but these people, they were just, I don't know. Anyways, it's sad that people are like that. That they cannot. They cannot be honest. I mean, I can be honest. Look at me. And if you can be honest, you can have embodied language. That's basically the only qualification. So I can have embodied language because I can be honest, and it's really weird. My honesty has been my biggest downfall. My honesty has always caused trouble, and I was never really good at lying, and I tried. I've said this before, but I like to say it again because it is really true. When I was younger, I was oftentimes pissed, not so much with the fact that people were treating me bad, but I was pissed about the fact that other people got away with it and I didn't. Why didn't I get away with it? I thought I deserved to get away with it just as much as anybody else, but no, I never get away with anything. Okay, well, I guess that's my reality. But then at the same time, it's not coincidental that it is this way, because it's a little different for me, because I speak and I live from what I would call a different perspective here, and so my way of being is. Yeah, I'm talking with you from my language enlightenment. So do you see that bridge? I'm gonna take you over that bridge, and that's the bridge we need to cross to attain our language enlightenment. Now, it's very simple. With the language enlightenment, you are going to be able to attain it the moment you have embodied language. So there's really no big deal about it. That's what I like about it. It's so simple. And yet nobody does it. Yeah, I do it. Do you hear all this noise? Well, it's because we're right near the freeway. Yeah, and so if you are near people who have what I call disembodied language, then you hear a lot of noise. Yeah. But if you are near a person like me who has embodied language, then what do you hear? Tell me, what do you hear? What do you feel? How do I come across? Yeah? I know how I come across. And if you would just let me come across, then you would benefit from what I'm saying. Yeah. It's easy to let that happen, to let it reach you and affect you, so that you can actually feel like there's nothing wrong with me. Actually, I have something that you can really use in your life. But if you're going to do that, depends on whether you're going to be talking with me. And that's up to you. It's up to you to decide also to do that. You have to get in touch with me. I mean, I'm not going to get in touch with you anymore. That's over. Yeah, I have endlessly tried to reach people. Yeah, I've given seminars, I've given workshops, I've given sessions, and it was all wonderful. It was all great. And I've years and years of teaching, yeah, teaching psychology. It was all great, yeah. Many students every semester, 3 classes full, yeah. But I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not trying to reach anybody anymore. That's beautiful. It's so wonderful to feel that way, that I'm not trying to reach anybody anymore. I'm just only speaking my embodied language, and I am enjoying my language enlightenment with my embodied language. Yes, that's it. That's all it is. Yeah. And I do that every day. And you could be doing that too. But you are missing out because you're not coming to me. Yeah. And all I can do, yeah, I'm not reaching out to you. I'm not trying to get you to talk with me. You can just go ahead and do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. But you live in misery. You live in, yeah, a stupid way of life, in a superficial way of life. Because disembodied language doesn't allow for anything intelligent. Disembodied language doesn't allow for any humor. Disembodied language doesn't allow you to be yourself. But this, I allow you to be yourself. But you need to allow yourself to be yourself. And you need to have the language which allows you to be yourself. Yeah. If your language doesn't allow you to be yourself, then you keep wanting other people to to accept you and to I don't know to respect you and to validate you. Well, guess what? I don't expect you to validate me at all, and I don't expect you to respect me at all. As a matter of fact, I expect you to disrespect me, because that's the story of my life. People have always disrespected me. It has happened from a very early age, and I was always surprised. Why are people disrespecting me? It's only now that I have embodied language continuously, and that I'm into my own language enlightenment, that I realize, yeah, people have always hated me for the fact that I was aware, that I was conscious, and that, yes, maybe I didn't have, because there was a time that I didn't have the language for it. There was a time that I was just like you, also all the time engaging in disembodied language, and that I didn't have the embodied language to express what I'm expressing now. But, that time is passé, that time is over. I have aged, I've matured, I have progressed, I have evolved, and it's wonderful, yeah? So, I've come into my own, yeah? And so this is what you hear when you have your embodied language. You come into your own, yeah. And it's wonderful. It's so reassuring. It's so relieving, and it's so energizing. So that's why I do this. Isn't it beautiful here? Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that great? I haven't walked on this path for quite a while, but now today it seems like a good day to do that. Yeah. Hey, hello, how are you doing? Hey. Hi. Thank you. It's so wonderful. I feel kind of high. Like high, like happy and excited. Yeah. Right. This is such a nice spot here, near the creek. I show you around. Isn't that nice? Oh yeah. As you may have noticed, I was suddenly feeling like I didn't want to talk because there were some people around, and it's funny how this natural occurrence, because there was people around, I didn't want to keep talking and let them hear what I'm saying, so I just turned quiet. And that quietness also expressed the result of everything I was just saying. So many leaves on the ground here, look at that. Here, come into the picture again. Do you get the picture? Yeah, this is beautiful here. The water just kind of flows through this narrow part here. Lovely. You hear the water go. And here I am in this beautiful environment, celebrating my language enlightenment. Yeah, and I know I am not perfect, and I don't claim to be perfect. And my enlightenment is not like anyone else's enlightenment, so I have to to let you know, or I have to let you know. I feel like I want to let you know. I feel like I want to just say to myself, actually, because it is still so funny that I have to let myself know that this is really true, that I am this way. Oh, look at that big tree in the creek. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but it's beautiful also when a tree falls in the creek. It's all part of it, you know. Nature is wild and beautiful. And I like it that they leave a lot of things as it is, you know, in this park. I really appreciate that they let these trees lay there and do whatever they do when the years go by. Yeah. Yeah, show you another little piece here. Here, look at that. There's more trees that have fallen. Yeah. And at one point, you know, my life will be over. Yeah, life doesn't continue forever. And so this is it. There's nothing else but this, what I'm telling you, this, what I'm expressing, which is my life. And I feel very fortunate to be able to say that, to be able to feel that, to be able to enjoy that, to be able to embody that. Yeah. Gosh, it's such a nice afternoon. You know, it was kind of windy today and the wind was really cold. And but here in the park, you don't feel the wind. Well, I don't feel much wind. Oh, look how gorgeous it is with all these leaves on the ground everywhere. Isn't that great? Oh, man. It was funny, you know, the day after I got fired, I shaved off my beard. And it felt like, there I am again. Hello, hello. Look at that, how beautiful. Oh man, yeah, look at that. You know, I'm really a person that loves the autumn because I was born in autumn. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I love the spring too. I love the summer too, but I have a special feeling for the autumn. Yeah. Big trees here. Oh man. Thank you for staying with me for so long. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to reach you. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to teach you anything, or you know, this is not about that. If you are ever going to talk with me, and yeah, then you are going to, of course, experience your own embodied language. Yeah. But you're not going to learn it from me. You're going to learn it from yourself. You're going to learn it by yourself. Because you have to figure out, like, oh, wait a second. Every time I do not listen to myself, every time I am getting carried away by words, by what I say, every time I'm busy with other people instead of with myself, and struggling how I want them to understand me, or I don't know what I want them to do. I want them to listen to me. Yeah. You know, all this struggle, all this busy with other people, and all this basically going away from yourself, you know. And then you're getting carried away by what you say. That's not working. That's not embodied language. Your embodied language is when you're coming to your senses. And it doesn't have to sound glamorous, you know, you don't have to impress anybody. You're not trying to convince yourself, you know. You're simply speaking with yourself the way you want to. And you talk about whatever you want to talk about. That is your embodied language. It's just so simple, so beautiful. Here, this is the 1 mile area. In the summer, everybody is swimming here. Families are sitting here with their children. Oops, almost walked into the water. You know, that situation where somebody with a cell phone doesn't look where they're going. I could have walked straight into the water here, but luckily I didn't. Yeah. Oh, it's really bright out here. I smell marijuana. Whew. There's a lot of people hanging around here smoking pot. I'm glad I don't do that. When I was younger, I did. I liked to smoke pot when I was young, to go out dancing and to also play on my recorders, but I don't do that anymore. Yeah. It's just not what this is. This is clean. This is without any drugs. This is totally natural and totally beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just gonna walk a little further, sit on a bench there, and then going to end this conversation. Yeah. say some final words to round it off. Probably taking you deeper into the experience of enlightenment. So such an hyped subject, eh? I mean, at least it was for me, you know. I mean, I got hooked on it somehow. I listened to people who were believed to be enlightened, and then I just also felt like, oh, I want to be enlightened. Because they sounded so happy. And I'm not going to talk about who I'm talking about right now. But, you know, I did pick up something which was important to me. And for me, what I've learned from all these so-called gurus or all these so-called people who are self-realized or whatever, or into meditation and Buddhism and whatnot, yeah, what I've learned from all of that is that I can talk in such a way that I'm a conscious human being. And so, and yes, to talk like that means that I have stopped the conditioning that makes me talk in a mechanical way. And that conditioning has come to an end, or that conditioning, at least for the time being, has come to an end, yeah? You can temporarily stop that conditioning. And so that's what I do with my embodied language. And whenever you stop your disembodied language and have embodied language, you suddenly realize like, oh my gosh, I am enlightened. Yeah. I've always been enlightened. I may not have had the language for it, but now that I have the embodied language, I'm very sure that I am enlightened. Yeah. And I'm sure you are enlightened too, even though you don't have the language for it, and even though you are not interested in talking with me to acquire that language. Because talking with me will primarily, of course, be a confrontation with the fact that you don't have this language. Yeah. And yeah, I can't help that it is that way. You have to face the music, or you have to face the facts. Yeah, the fact is that you are continuously inclined to engage in disembodied language. And so unless you acknowledge that, you cannot stop it, you cannot step out of it, you cannot have embodied language. So yeah, I didn't make it that way, it is that way. And it's that way for you and for me and for everybody. And everybody is in the same boat. Everybody was conditioned to listen to other people. But we were not conditioned to listen to ourselves. So when you begin to talk with yourself instead of with others, and listen to yourself, you realize like, oh, now I realize something which I couldn't understand, I couldn't even express when I was in my disembodied language. And it goes further than that. It goes beyond words. Yeah. Because if you, after you have fully expressed yourself, go into your silence, into your wordlessness, you have really spoken. You have really said what you wanted to say. And you are then quiet. You cross the bridge. And this is just the beginning. You're only at 1 mile. Yeah.